Hello friends, and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This is the fifth of an Excel tutorial series, and here we'll be talking about several tips to be more productive in Excel, meaning we can do work in less steps than the normal way of doing it. Okay, I'll be giving you 4 scenarios wherein you'll be learning techniques of minimizing work, doing the normal work that you would do on a day-to-day basis. Let's start with this one first. I'll call this, all of these I'll be having the title of instead of, because instead of doing something the usual way, you will be doing it in another way, which is more efficient and will really save you a lot of time, a lot of steps. So in the first one, instead of cut and paste, we will do a move. Let's look at this example over here. We have a table with 2 columns, columns A and B, with some data in it. Okay, so normally if we wanted to move this table to another location, let's say in the same sheet or another, preferably in the same sheet, we will do this. We will highlight the whole table, and then we will do a cut, which is Control X. The whole set of cells comes alive, and then we will put our mouse on the new location where we wanted to put it, right? Example, I want to put this table in this location. I will do a paste of using Control V, and I'm able to accomplish what I wanted to do. But there's a quicker way actually of doing this. So instead of doing a cut and paste, the first step will be the same. You will highlight the whole set of cells that you wanted to move. The next step is to point along the edges of the set of cells. And then you will see this kind of symbol, which is also a plus or cross sign, but the 4 points of the cross have arrows in them. It's a bit different from this kind of plus sign and this kind of plus sign, which is used for auto-populating a cell value. So look at this, it's quite different. It is a black plus sign or cross with arrows pointing on all 4 tips. Okay. So that's the first thing. You will highlight the set of cells that you wanted to move, point somewhere along the edges, and then you will see this symbol, and then you can just click your mouse and move without releasing your mouse, put it in the place where you wanted to move this set of cells, and then you release the mouse. Okay, I'll do it again, Control Z. First is to highlight the whole set of cells that you wanted to move, and then point your mouse along the edge of the set of cells, and then you will see this distinct symbol, which is a plus or cross sign with pointed arrows. When you see that, do a mouse click with your left button, and then drag your mouse to where you wanted to move the set of cells, and then release. Okay, so that is, instead of cut and paste, you do a move. The second is this. Instead of using a formula, you use Autosum, which is available in Excel. So if you look at this column C, there are a set of values, numeric values over here with a column heading number of units sold, and you have numeric values. And normally, if you're not familiar with this functionality, you would come up with a formula, which you know would start with an equal sign, introducing a formula in Excel, and then I would use the function sum, and then I would start with the parentheses, and then I would click my mouse over the fields that I wanted to have to apply this computation of sum, and then close it, enter, and then I get this thing. But there's a quicker way of doing this. So this is the conventional way of doing this, and when you point at that field where it computes the sum. If you point at that, you will see in the formula field, the formula itself equals, formula bar equals sum parentheses C3, which is the cell address of the first cell over here, and colon C9, meaning it's computing the sum from cell C3 all the way to C9. But there is a quicker way of doing that, which is an Autosum functionality of Excel. So the first thing you do is, I guess it will only work if there are no blanks in this set of values. Okay, firstly, there should be numeric, and ideally there should be no blanks in here. And then you will just put your mouse at the position, at the field, at the cell where you intend to have the sum. Okay, in this case, I'm already here. And then at your toolbar, or otherwise called ribbon, you point your mouse at the one with the sigma, Greek letter sigma, which is for Autosum. So you click on that, and automatically you can see that the whole set of cells which you wanted to you wanted to compute the sum becomes alive, and at the cell where you wanted to have the sum, you already have the formula prepared for you, and you can just press enter, and there you have the formula, and then you can just format it the way you wanted it to be. I don't know what color you want. Okay, so, but remember, we used Autosum. Okay, let me do that again quickly. So without highlighting anything, you don't need to highlight anything. You just put your mouse at the bottom of a set of numeric values, making sure there's no blanks in there. Then you click on this button, which is the sigma, Greek letter sigma for summation or sum. Click on that, and then you just enter. And then you have the Autosum. So instead of a formula being entered manually, you just do an Autosum. Indeed, the formula is still there. That's how it works. But you didn't manually enter that formula. You did not. Okay, so that's number two. Third one is this one. Instead of copy paste, you do a double click. Okay, so we've learned in previous videos. In fact, you already probably know how to do copy and paste in Excel. So here is a trick that will save you a couple of steps. Okay, so normally if we want to, in this case, you see a table with two columns, columns B and C. One is name, the other is status or status. But now in our work, we wanted to just copy this value, which is perm, short for permanent, to the cells over here, because we know for a fact that we're very certain that all this value applies to all of them. So we just wanted to do this. The manual usual way is to copy, Control C, and then you highlight these cells at the bottom, maybe with your mouse, and do a Control V. Okay, but there's a quicker way. What you would do without even doing a Control C is you mouse click on the cell that you wanted to copy. In this case, I wanted to copy the value of perm. So I mouse click on that. And then once I'm there, I will just point at the lower right-hand corner of that cell. I see this black cross or plus sign, and then I will just do a double click. And it does the work for me automatically, right? So instead of doing a copy paste, we did a double click. I'll do it again. You put your mouse on the cell that you wanted to copy. You point at the lower right-hand corner of that cell. You see a black cross, and then you do a double click. It does the copy paste for you. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4 is something that we've talked about in a previous video, also in the Excel tutorial series, Format Painter. But it's worth mentioning because it's a very handy tool. In fact, I personally use this quite a lot. Okay, the Format Painter. So in this scenario, you can see a table containing, again, two columns. One is the column A is called MID, employee ID. The second one is called name. But in this scenario, in this test case, what I wanted to do is I wanted to apply the same kind of formatting in this cell called A2 to the cell called B2 for them to look alike, to have that uniformity. Okay, so if I didn't know about this format painter thing, I would probably do it manually. First, I'll make sure the font is the same, Calibri 11. I would make sure this is also Calibri 11. It so happens the same. And then as the next thing is I would make this bold, Control B. And then the next thing is I would look for the shade of the highlight on the backdrop and do it like that. It's the same. It accomplishes what I wanted to do, but it was accomplished after doing a couple of manual steps, 3 or 4, or could be more. So I'll undo that. What you would do is you point your mouse, you click your mouse on the cell that you wanted to copy the formatting, wherein you wanted to copy the formatting. So in this case, I'm at A2, which is the cell wherein I'm interested to copy its formatting. And then I click on the Format Painter button at the ribbon. The cell comes alive, and then I just click my mouse on the destination cell wherein I wanted to apply the same formatting. Okay, there you go. That is, instead of manual formatting, use Format Painter. So in this video, we've learned a couple of things that will speed up our work, increase our productivity, allow us to work faster in Excel, not necessarily working fast, but making our work quicker. I mean, doing the same kind of work in less steps. It really saves you a lot of time. The first is, instead of cut and paste, you do a move by using a dragging motion. Second is doing an Autosum. Instead of manually entering the formula, you'll be able to do an Autosum using one of the standard ribbon or toolbar buttons of Excel. Third is, instead of doing a copy and paste, you just do a double click if the value is the same. And number 4 is using the Format Painter, which allows you to copy the formatting of an existing cell and apply it to another cell. Okay, so there you go. And I hope new things have been learned in this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.